Oh no. I've got like salt in my eyebrows still. I've just come in from the ocean and it's like 32 degrees outside, so I'm probably sweating and red. And anyway, that's what you get when you live 2 streets from the beach. One of the funnest jobs from the last year has been working with Foil Drive, a niche for a niche market. In a nutshell, they have a small motor that gives you forward momentum in the ocean so that you can get up on foil easier when you're hydrofoiling. Bit of backstory. It was probably 2017 when I moved into a house with my now wife, Millie. I'd been roaming for about 3 years, living in a van, just going from project to project in Port Lincoln and Sydney. Both of those places had pretty fun waves, so I was either riding a bodyboard or a longboard or just cruising, body surfing and, getting into the ocean. After about a year of doing this while dating Millie, we decided to get a house together, and it kind of meant that I was destined to surf the waves that I grew up surfing. And the local waves looked so different than they did when I was a 15-year-old frothing grommet. So as you do, up late, looking at YouTube, and I came across a video like this. I'd never actually seen stand-up paddling done like this before. Open ocean, riding the wind bumps, and just cruising. I'd of course heard of stand-up paddling. I used to have a paddleboard when I was living in Sydney, but didn't really use it because I could either bodyboard the waves or it was so big and cumbersome that I just didn't really get into it. But seeing what they were doing in Hawaii was such an eye-opener to see, you can do something different in the ocean with downwinding. You can go for 20 kilometers, 50 kilometers if you want, and there's no crowds. You actually want people to come and do the sport with you just so you've got some company. So I jumped in the deep end, got a secondhand 14-foot race board, as well as being able to ride the ocean differently. It was such good fitness as well. After a few years of doing that, I was getting pretty confident in the ocean, and then I saw foiling. And that was a bit of an eye-opener. With Kora on the way, this would have been started 2019, I treated myself to a secondhand foil board and secondhand foil and learnt by doing. Lots of ejections, lots of kick flips. When I tried to go foil downwinding, that's when I was just like, I'm out of my league. In Adelaide at the time, there was really only 5 of us who were trying to crack the code. Scott, the guy who I bought the 14-foot sup from, his mate Trav, who I also bought a secondhand foil board from, they were ahead of the curve. They had been foiling for probably about a year and a half by this stage, and all they could say was get into it, but take your time because it's going to be a year, maybe 2 years of complete pain until you figure out how to downwind sup paddle. I pause when I say that because there's so many elements to foiling. This whole sport is about gaining the forward momentum to get yourself and the board up and out of the water so that the foil becomes engaged. The foil is actually riding under the water, not on top of the water, and can gain more of the ocean's power. You go a lot faster, basically. Insert foil drive. 3 years ago, we started seeing a few of these little Tupperware boxes on the top of foil boards, and that housed the battery. Then the cable went all the way down to the mast where the motor sat to increase your forward momentum to get up on foil. All I wanted to do was downwind sup foil. You put in the work with the paddle, break that surface connection between the board and the water, then you're up on foil and cruising. So when foil drive came along, I thought, it's a bit of a gimmick because I can already do it. Sure, it's good to learn. I wish I had this a year and a half ago, but I don't need it anymore. And having a Tupperware container with a battery on the top of the deck just gets a bit messy and you can stub your toe and the cable and all that sort of jazz. Cool product, but it's not for me. At the start of 2023, my mate Trav started working for 4-wheel drive. Within the first week of working there, he was just like, something big's coming. So with my knowledge of downwind foiling and foiling in general, and my background in filmmaking and documentary storytelling, Ben and Paul, who are the owners of 4-wheel drive, called me in, and when I saw the Gen 2 unit that they were holding in front of them, I thought, that's cool as shit. Now you've got my attention. I'm not going to go into too many details about what the Gen 2 unit is because it speaks for itself. No longer is it on the deck, it's underneath. The battery's amazing, the power's amazing, and it's super fun. We spent the next 4 months in the lead up to the launch drifting in the ocean again, me with my Red Epic microwave of a housing, watching my now friends cruising past me. We filmed a bunch of downwinders, bunch of surfs, even went up to the river to film some wake thieving, which was kind of Ben's wacky idea of his aversion to the river, because he's an ocean kid like all of us. It just shows what the Gen 2 unit can do.
Everyone having a ball, having a blast. One boat, one driver, one observer. Just awesome. So good.
When clients become friends, that's like the best part of this industry, because after the launch and the video went semi-viral for a very small YouTube channel and the nichest product for a niche market, I think it had like 50,000 views in 3 days or something. Ben and Paul, they're such legends, and Sarah and Caitlin and all the crew there. It's just like, hey man, we're going surfing, do you want to come? And I'm like, do we need more footage? I thought like all the films are done, like the contract's done. They're like, no, we just want to just go surfing with you. Like, do you want to come? So what's my point? Why am I talking about this? I used to spend way too long in the ocean and it was full of frustration. Some of those times when I was learning how to downwind, I'd be out there for 6 hours. As much as I love the ocean, I love my family even more. And while I was out there drifting, throwing my paddle, just being full of frustration while trying to learn this sport, that was a purely selfish pursuit. I knew that I should be at home and spending time with my family. So now the best thing that I'm finding with the 4-wheel drive unit is I can walk down the road, jump in the water, fly upwind, turn around and downwind to my house. It takes the whole car logistics, car drops, Uber back, driving back out of the equation, and I can be done in some 25 minutes, 30 minutes. It's perfect. We all need that work-life play balance, and products like 4-wheel drive allow me to keep that balance in check so that I'm not taking too much time away from my family and I'm not getting stuck in the ocean and drifting for 11 kilometers. So thanks 4-wheel drive, Ben, Paul, Caitlin, Trav, everyone else, you're the best. The battery's just finished charging, so I'm going to go out again. Peace.